game. You got a friend playing. Has this ever happened to you? Watch. So it's game one of the 3-game set, 3-3, and your friend makes an unbelievable block. And you do this. Has that ever happened to any of you, where you've done this in life? Hey, I'm caring. Hey, I'm caring. You're not caring. You're not caring either. Sorry about that. My bad. Sorry. Awkward. Has that ever happened to you? Yeah. Because in these situations, we run into one of the biggest challenges with care, and that is when we stick out with our care. When we're the first one to cheer. When we're the first one to put our hand up in class. When we're the first one maybe to approach a group of people to suggest something like, hey, you want to dress up for the Spirit Day? No. Hey, you want to come to our event at lunch? No. When you're maybe the voice of reason as a 17-year-old on a Friday night, when you want to say to your friends, are you sure? Because your idea seems both illegal and dangerous. There's a plan. Because in these moments when we stick out with our care as a leader, no matter when that situation is, the party on a Friday night, the cafeteria on a Thursday afternoon, or an 8 a.m. math class, we then run into the chance of getting the biggest negative reaction to our care, and that's other people giving us the look. Because the look is powerful. Right now in your schools, the look is stopping some kids from answering a question in science class, stopping some students from singing out loud, stopping some students from dancing, stopping some students from trying out, stopping some students from really putting their all into a classroom presentation. So they talk quietly, they don't open with a great statement like, I picked this topic because and then they explain why. They just let it be boring. They don't want to tell people that they actually like this topic. When in fact at your age, you gotta start telling people what you like and what you don't like, so you can figure out what the next few years of your life will be like. And they too often let the look of other people change them. So I think we need to analyze the look, shall we? What's behind the look when you get it? And if you actually analyze the look in the wide variety of settings you get it in, you'll soon realize you have nothing to fear in New York. So let's go back to a classic example. Cheering on, JV, junior varsity, girls volleyball, game 1, 3-3, and your friend makes a block. Woo! And you look to your left, and you see the ultimate in teenage angst. A 10th grade couple holding hands. Guy and girl have been dating for 3 whole weeks. He walks her to every class. He's late for his own classes because he walks her every class. And by the time he gets to his own class, he's already gotten 2 text messages from her, including that all-powerful emoji. And you know that one? The emoji with the hearts in the eyes. She's done the custom, right? It kind of looks like her. I've done the same thing. It's called sticker, right? I got a sticker. It does look like me. I think it's cute. I'll show you my sticker. Spiky red hair. Really pale. Perfect. The ultimate in teenage angst. And this 16-year-old couple is giving you the look. Because you're cheering in game 1 of a 3-game set when it's 3-3. What are they saying behind their eyes as they judge? They're saying this, right? They're saying, look at you. You're fun. You're spirited. You're caring and kind and supportive of other people. Loser. Who has the incorrect definition of loser? You or them? Are we clear on this? No, seriously, are we clear on this? Because some of you will literally get the look 1 minute after coming back to this conference. What do you mean, Andy? You'll come back, maybe you'll arrive at your school. School maybe going to be done, maybe the sports team's going on, tell me what I'm talking about, and you'll have a friend. They'll say, hey, where were you today? Oh, I was at Finger Lakes Community College. We were at a conference. It was called Leading with Kindness. We saw this great training speaker. He talked about making care contagious. And your friend will go, sounds weird. And you're like, oh my God, I just got the look a few minutes after a workshop about, the look, and not from some jerk. So he says, say they're all jerks. No, somebody I like who just doesn't get me. So let's be clear. Who has the incorrect definition of loser? You or them? Then don't change. Please don't change. Never lower your care to keep negative people happy. Or, this is important, never change you when you're surrounded by people who don't necessarily get you. And that's okay too. Right? My daughter, starting in 7th grade, high 7th, 8th graders, was this exquisite writer, was really into French as a second language, and she was only surrounded by yahoos. We call them yahoos, right? People who thought French sucks, that's a weird story you're writing, and all this type of stuff, right? But when Tori won the English award for 8th grade, and the school surrounded by people supposed to take French, plus won a French award, and at times even as 10th grader during the pandemic, it was tough. But now she's in college, surrounded by other people who like writing stories, other people who like to speak another language. She's loving it. She didn't change her, even surrounded by people who are like, that's weird, or I can't believe you like that so much. Remain you. Because what's the worst thing people can say? Let's review. Oh my God, you are so fun! You dress up for Spirit Days. You dance at dances. You cheer on teams. When there's a fun activity like we just did a few minutes ago with dexterity check, ooh, ah, the mingle games, you get right into it. You're the type of freak. And when a teacher tries to make math fun, you go with it. How many here can live with the rumor that you're a fun person? How many here can live with that rumor? Because fun people have more fun. Because they laugh, they dance, they get invited to conferences like this. And so when I was your age, I had fun. I had fun. Do you know who was fun? My principal. So it's June of 1989. I said, hey, sir, I want to get a picture of you in your seat with me and my buddy Stu on the chair. He said, no, you sit in my seat, pretend to be the principal. Do you like my principal already? He's now 85 years old. We had lunch together in December. He's doing great. Fun. There I am leading a cheer. You know what's fun? Our senior varsity quarterback since 10th grade. Best athlete I ever got to spend time with. Ozzy. Came to Canada from Jamaica when he was 9. Hey, Ozzy, we need somebody to dress up as Santa. And he did it. His name was Ozzy, so it says it's not going to be Santa Claus, it's going to be Santa Oz. Jamaican Santa, man. Yeah, it was fun. We made more money for the food drive by selling Santa Claus pictures that year because it was fun. So if somebody says to you, you're fun, say, thank you. How about the next rumor? Oh my gosh, you're so spirited. It's like you like being here or something. How many here can live with the rumor that you have school spirit? Yeah. And you know why you're here today? Because you have school spirit. Now I want you to think of all the friends you have lost due to school spirit. Another way of wording it. How many out there are like me, and you've gained so many friends thanks to school spirit? Yes. When I got married in 98, of the 5 guys at my wedding party, 4 I met through school spirit. Football, student council, track and field. Right? So if somebody says to you, you're spirited, say thank you very much. In my case, I've made a career out of it. In my case, we were named the most spirited school in Canada, leading pep rallies. Converse sponsored our national championship trophy, so that's a massive Chuck Taylor pink sneaker sponsored by Converse. How cool is that? I don't just talk about school spirit. I go back to my high school on average 5 times a year to speak to different classrooms and careers. I always speak to the grads every year. They always give me the free bling with my school logo on it. When I was named Alumni of the Year for my university, so every year my university names an Alumni of the Year. I'm the 2014 recipient of Alumni of the Year of my university. The opening line of this article about me, with that great picture of my dad and I and my brother and some buddies at a Mustangs football game, was the following. At Western University, Andy is known as Mr. School Spirit. And it was a compliment, in this case about a 44-year-old, now a 55-year-old, and not once does one 16-year-old at my high school say, that's weird, you keep coming back doing free speeches for your school. You know what the 16-year-olds say? That's really cool you come back to do free speeches for your school. Yeah, because I know what it's like. Americans always ask me, did you play hockey? And I tell them honestly, no, because we didn't have the money. Because poverty wasn't something on the other side of town, it was in my school. I went to school with people who just arrived from Jamaica, Lebanon, and Nigeria. I went to school with people like myself. And when Dad lost his job in '82, it was tough for a while, you know. And for me as a 12-year-old, oh, we're not going to McDonald's anymore. But for other people, it was living right across the street in socialized housing, right? So I'm going to come back and do what I can to make my world a better place. And then you have fun with it, though, at the same time, right? Getting in our case, we were the Mustangs at the university level, promoting the Purple and Proud. And when my high school went to the provincial football final for the first time in our history, I was there when we won. I was there when we won, with my brother, with my best friend, with guys I played football with Coach K, who grew up with my kid's mom, right? To be there when we were celebrating the provincial football championship, winning 13-12 on a last-second one-pointer in Canadian football rules. So if somebody says you're spirited, say, thanks. And finally, how about this awful last one? Oh my gosh, you're so caring and supportive of other people. You're so kind. Man, when you're not cheering people on, you know what you're doing? You're listening to them. How many here can live the rumor that you're caring, supportive, and kind? So in the past, when you got the look, what did you think? And for some of you, that was literally yesterday. Too many of you thought this. Woo! Oh, sorry. I'm doing something wrong. So I'm going to change. Let me lower my care and not be so enthusiastic in science or Spanish. Not be so enthusiastic in my singing or my dancing. Not be so passionate about my art. Not be so vocal about environmental issues or standing up for those people who don't feel like they're being stood up for. Whatever it might be, let me change. But hopefully after this conference you say, no. No. Look at me, America. No. No. That's all I'll say. No. Stand up. And what's the worst things they can say? Oh my God, you're so fun. You're so spirited. Caring, kind, supportive of others. Treating a stranger to your town to a nice pizza meal. Specially crafted shirt. How cool is that? That's the America I know. And then when you get the look, you know what happens? The look bounces up. The look bounces off. Now, I'll say the look, you double hit that right shoulder and just flick it away. And yell out, bounces off. Everybody, the look just. Now notice I did not say, the look bounces off me and goes in your freaking face. I didn't say that. What do you mean, Andy? Don't be like this in life. Let's go back to that volleyball game. Watch. Here we go. 3-3. Woo! Oh, what's wrong with you? Get up. No. Or don't be like this. Oh, what's wrong with those people? I know. They never dress up for the spirit day, never come to class prepared, never bring in a can for the food drive, never stay behind afterwards for games. No, stop. Can you control them? Can you control them? No. So who can you control? Me. So be patient with people. You've seen it with some of your own friends. You've seen it with yourself. Somebody who doesn't care in September, October in math class. November. All of a sudden, out of nowhere in December. Hey, for that presentation, you want to be my partner? And you're thinking, whoa, this is the first time your friend has talked about, homework in a while. Then they drop this bomb on you. Because you really seem to know what you're doing, and I really don't. It hits you. It's taken them 3.5 months to have the courage to look at you and go, I'm not getting this. Can you help me? Because who's been going to class? Everybody? Me. Participating in class? Me. But even more importantly, not getting on them for what they're not doing? Everybody? Me. So when they were ready to change, they came to talk to who? Everybody? Me. All I'm saying is, when I was helping this, love this. Warmed up, here we go. The Slew, a classic beat from 1977. Here we go. Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, screaming in the streets, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, big disgrace, waving your banner all over the place, singing, we will rock you. We will rock you. Give yourselves a round of applause, that was amazing. That was sweet. Great job.